Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be unto you. We are finished with ayah number 27 from Surah Ibrahim or Ibrahim, and ayah number 28 will give us some question to answer. It says, haven't you seen to those who have substituted for the bounties of Allah their denial and their rejection, and they have led their people into the place of destruction, referring to nations and communities that refused the message that came to them from God through their prophets. Some of them, instead of receiving the gift of guidance and returning this gift with gratitude, they received it with denial, and they misled their people about the message, and they led their people to destruction by the punishments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We went over some of those communities, like the people of Prophet Noah, the people of Prophet Hud, the people of Prophet Saleh, and Ibrahim, and Lot, and Shu'aib. All of these are prophets that when they brought their message from God to guide the people, the elite of the people, they refused. In some cases, the masses refused, like in the case of Prophet Lot. Prophet Noah continued to make teaching and preaching and communicating the guidance of Allah to his people, but only if you accepted his message. After 950 years of preaching, only if you accepted his message. So what happens to the rest? Some of them were taken by strong wind that destroyed their villages and their people. Some were drowned like the people of Noah. Some were stoned like the people of Prophet Lot. So varieties of punishments have befell those communities. Then ayah number 29, it says, hell is what they will be blazing in. They will be into hell. And this is the worst of abode, the worst place to settle in, and to be your final and eternal destination is hell. What worse could it be? Ayah number 30, and they have made or erected or artificially manufactured equals to God to turn people away from Allah. So they manufacture idols, or they make themselves as idols that should be worshipped by people, like the tyrants of all nations. They want to be worshipped. They want their word to be the final word, not the word of Allah. So the ayah is saying that they have made equals to Allah to turn people away from His path. Say, O Muhammad, enjoy it, for your fate is in fire. Your fate is the fire, which is a reference to hellfire. Then it turns, ayah number 31 starts to talk to the people who believed, saying, O Muhammad, tell my servants who believed to establish prayer on regular basis, and let them spend from what we have provided unto them, secretly and publicly, privately and openly, before a day comes in which there is no sale, and there is no exchange, and there is no friendship, referring to the day of judgment. So what is the ayah telling those who believe? It's telling the believers to establish prayer. What is prayer? Why is prayer important? Because prayer gives us the opportunity to stand before God, to bow down before God, to prostrate before God, so that we get the chance to humble ourselves, submit our needs and wants to God, submit our complaints against those who have hurt us, seeking His support, asking Him for relief, asking Him for cure for our diseased ones and our loved ones. So prayer is not to be seen as a chore. It is to be seen as a gift and an opportunity for us to meet God at His call. When He calls, we should respond, so that when we call on Him for something, He would respond. This is the reciprocal type of relationship. So when Allah invites us, we should answer His call. We should never put God on hold for anything. When He calls, we should answer immediately, as soon as we can. So it goes on, uh, and let them spend. Spending and prayer are always connected. Prayer and spending. Prayer gives out of your time and your soul, and spending gives out of your money. But guess what? Your soul belongs to Allah. He is the giver of your soul. Your time is a gift that Allah has given you, so it is also His. Likewise, your money and resources are also His, but He allows you to use it as a gift from Him, according to His rules. So we don't abuse the gifts of Allah, whether it is time, soul, money, or resources, or children, or spouses, or neighbors. We should never abuse Allah's gifts. And everything around us is a gift, a trust, and a test. As a gift, we should be grateful. As a trust, we should keep. As a test, we should try to face the challenge of all of these tests and be patient and wait for Allah to give us the relief that we desire. This is how we deal with life. So when we spend, the Quran says, spend privately or secretly, and publicly or openly. Secretly, so that you do not embarrass the person you give. So if you see somebody who is needy, you don't have to show it off to others. Try to be discreet and private and respectful of the people. That's why secretly is good. But publicly also is good when everybody is donating and you are one of them, like in fundraising, when we are collecting money, all of us to serve a cause, then spending publicly does not run against respecting those who need it. Then it says, before a day comes in which there is no sale or purchase or friendship, which means nothing will help you except what you have done. Nothing. Your friends are not going to stand account for you. Your parents are not going to be protecting you. You are not going to do punishment for your parents. Your friends are not going to stand punishment on your behalf. So one has to be careful. When this day comes, the only thing that would help is our records, the records of our righteous deeds. This is what we need to look at. Then ayah number 32, Allah is the one who created the heavens and the earth, and He had sent down from heaven water by which he grows up fruits and produces and vegetables and all fruits as a provision for you. And he has subjected to your utility the boats and the ships to run on the surface of the sea by his will. Imagine if Allah did not make the wood something that floats over water. How would we make ships? Now, with the discovery of the air and its role, we can manufacture steel ships, and still Allah would allow it to surface and run on the surface of the sea. It means what? It is Allah who is holding it on the top. And when we want to challenge Allah, Allah cannot be challenged. He will punish immediately. So when we called a ship the unsinkable, the Titanic, it did sink. When we called a spaceship the Challenger, it exploded few seconds into its launch. So Allah does not accept challenges. Why? Because He wants us to understand that at the end of the day, He is in control. In the beginning of the day, He is in control. In the middle of the day, He is in control. And He is powerful enough to always execute His will. So we are all living at the mercy of Allah. The water we live on comes from heaven. Maybe somebody will tell you, well, the water evaporates from the seas and it goes up in heaven, then it becomes condensed into clouds, and then it comes down. But who gave this water all of those properties? That it evaporates, then it gets condensed. Then who carries the water from one place to another? Why does it rain in Kansas and not in the desert of Nevada, for example? Why some places get more water than others? Allah is telling us He is in control. Why some water that comes from heaven ends up flooding and destroying, and some other water becomes a source of mercy? Why some water runs deep in the desert and we can never recover it, and some other settles on top layers and we can dig a well and get it out? Allah is the one who is in control. Nothing runs in His universe against His will. What we call nature, there is no such a thing as nature. Even nature is a gift from Allah, but it doesn't run on automatic. Allah is the one who allows the sun to rise in the morning. He could keep it where it was at night. Allah is the one who allows the night to come in after the daylight. He could have made it all light and no night. So there is nothing on automatic. Nobody should take Allah's gifts for granted. Allah wants us to connect with Him more than we connect with His gifts. We should seek the pleasure of the giver, not the joy of the gift. We should not act like children. When you give a child something, they take it and run, and they forget who gave you this. They don't remember, because they were so happy to take the gift, but they didn't look at the face of the giver to say thank you. We adults should not act like children. as if we are blinded by the gift, so blinded that we do not see the giver. So when Allah points His gifts for us and He says, "It is me who is doing it, and I am doing it for you," He is then calling on us to show gratitude, to be grateful, to appreciate what Allah has done, is doing, and will continue to do for His creation. We should see the rest of creations as also a gift from God. The sea that we take for sale does not automatically hold everything on the surface, right? Some things sink and some things float. Who gave everything the properties? This one to sink and this one to float. Allah, the Creator. Allah summarizes all of this in an ayah in which He says that it is He who has created everything and gave it its properties. Imagine if the fire does not rise up when you set up a fire, it goes up, right? Imagine if the fire goes down. How do you warm water? You will have to hold the fire and it doesn't fly up, right? It goes down, so you have to keep holding it, right? What about if water does not stay in the bowl that you want to warm it in? When you put it, it jumps out. So Allah gave properties to everything He has created, and He guided everything to act accordingly. So the air is thin, invisible. The water is fluid. Oil is also fluid, right? But oil will take the surface of the water because it's lighter. When you put oil and water in one cup, the water will stay down and the oil will come on the top. Who gave these properties to the oil, the water, the air? It's all Allah. So take nothing for granted. Keep thanking Allah for everything. You see how strong a camel or a cow is? If 10 people push against a camel, they cannot make it fall. If 15 people will push against a cow, they cannot make it fall. But a child, 2 years old, can pull the rope that is hung to the neck of the camel, or the head, or the nose, and take the camel anywhere the boy wants. How much stronger is a camel? But in the hands of a little boy, he is becoming like a child. Do you know that the eyes of the camel sees the child as you would see a giant? So the camel doesn't see a child as a little minute one. The eyes magnify the child so that the camel becomes submissive and obedient. A cow is also held by the weakest of children, will go with him to the barn or to the field. Who subjected all of this to the smallest of human beings? It's Allah. So whenever you read in the Quran that Allah is the one who does this or did this, show gratitude. And remember to always show gratitude. Then it continues, he has subjected to your utility the boats to run on the surface of the sea or ocean by his leave. And he has subjected to you the rivers. So when you draw a channel out of a river, Allah orders the waters to run out of the river into the channel where you want it, so that you can water your field and grow your plants. Ayah number 33, and he has subjected for you the sun and the moon, constantly running in their orbits. And he has subjected for you the night and the day. And he has provided for you all what you've asked him. And if you try to count the blessings of God, you can never count it. If you just try to get a pen and a paper and list all the gifts Allah has given you, whether the gifts in your physical creation, let alone the gifts in your moral power, in your spiritual side, in your soul, in your heart, all of these are gifts that are not physical. Even if you want to count the physical blessings that you have, you wake up in the morning and you don't know even how you woke up. You just woke up. People didn't have alarms all the time. So who gave them a signal to wake up in the morning? Allah. Who allows you to go to bed and you're asking Allah implicitly that you want to rest. And the night sits on and you go to sleep, you go to deep sleep, and still you wake up. Who gave you this cycle to rest at night and the energy to work in the daytime? If you try to count the blessings of God, you can never count it. Man is indeed a wrongdoer and a denier of God and his gifts. We deny Allah. When we deny him our gratitude, which we owe to him, we become like the disbelievers who deny his existence. Then the following ayat will give us part of the story of Prophet Ibrahim. It says, ayah number 35, and behold and remember, as Ibrahim said, O my Lord, make this land a safe land, and protect me and my offsprings from the worship of idols. Ibrahim is talking about a piece of land, a village, but it's not called a village because it was not inhabited. He's talking about Mecca before anybody, any human, set foot in Mecca or lived in Mecca, when it was a complete desolate desert. No people, no plants, no water even. And wherever there is no water, there is no life. That's what we learn as humans. That's why people are searching for water in Mars to determine if there is water, then there is likelihood of life. But without water, there is no life. So Ibrahim is asking and praying to God, saying, Oh my Lord, make this countryside or village or land a safe place, and protect me and my children from the worship of idols. And number 36, O my Lord, idols have certainly misled many peoples. So he who follows me, he is part of me. And he who disobeys me, you, my Lord, is the oft forgiving, oft merciful. O my God, I have settled my family and one of my offspring, referring to Ismail and to his wife Hajar, Hajar, in a non-cultivated valley, close to your holy house, referring to the Kaaba. O my Lord, I ask you to enable them so that they establish prayer. So please get the hearts of people to love to come down unto them, because Mecca is a desert valley, and provide for them of all produce so that they may be grateful. O my Lord, you know what we conceal and what we make public, and there is nothing hidden of Allah in the earth or in the heaven. All gratitude goes to Allah, the one who has gifted me after old age my son Ismail and my son Isaac. My Lord indeed hears my prayer and my supplication, and all prayers and all supplications. O my Lord, make me one who establishes prayer, likewise from my offspring. O my Lord, accept our supplication. My Lord, forgive me, forgive my parents, and forgive the believers on the day the account is established, referring to the day of judgment. Then Ibrahim's prayer is finished here. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't you consider Allah inattentive to what the wrongdoers are doing? Allah is never oblivious to anything that happens in this universe that He and only He has created and is controlling. He is only giving them an opportunity until a day when eyeballs will pop up, which means people will be so scared that they will try to gaze as hard as they can. Talking about the day of judgment and seeing the horrors of the day of judgment will make people's eyes pop up. They will be lowering their heads and submitting all of their body. And whatever they look at, they are not going to be blinking. They cannot blink. And their hearts will be filled with void. You know, when a person's heart is afflicted with serious fear, they say his heart is void, full of void. Like a mother who loses or misses her child. Her heart will be described as void, which means empty, because it was full of love when her son or daughter were playing around her, were hugging her, kissing her, She was touching them and feeding them and cleaning them. She was happy. Her heart was full of what? Full of love and satisfaction and peace. When they are taken away or absent and she misses them, this heart becomes void. What was filling it? It was the child. Then, ayah number 44, and warn the people, talking to Prophet Muhammad, warn the people of a day when torment comes unto them, and those wrongdoers would say, O our Lord, postpone us for a nearby term. We would respond to your call and we would follow your messengers. We would follow the messengers. Then they will get the answer, haven't you sworn before that you will never perish? You will never disappear. You thought that this day is not coming, but here you are, the day is here. And you can ask all you want, but your prayer will never be answered. And haven't you lived and inhabited in the dwellings of those who have wronged themselves before, even after it has been made clear to you what we have done to them, and we have given you the examples in the communities of other prophets that came before? Why do you think that your day is not coming when you know that their day has come and gone and they perished? They were destroyed. Why do you think we will give you a chance longer than your set opportunity? Yes. Number 46. And they have plotted their own plots, and their plots are controlled by Allah, even though their plotting is meant to remove mountains. See, the human will is made of steel, very powerful. When man wants to do something, he will go after it no matter what. So they plot and plan, and they want not only to extend their term, but they want to move mountains. Ayah number 47, don't you, Muhammad, think, and don't you, the disbelievers, think that Allah would ever renege whatever promises He gave His messengers. Allah made promises for His messengers. He said, I and my messengers will definitely win. Nobody should think that this will ever be a promise that is not kept. Allah is making this promise, is giving this warning. Nobody should stand against Allah or against His messenger or against His message. Why? He is in control and His will be done. Nobody could stand on His way. Then, ayah 48, on the day when the earth would be replaced with another earth, and the heavens, and they will all stand out before Allah, the one, the coercive one, the one who will coerce His will upon everybody. When Allah sends the angel of death and says, take out this country, everybody will be gone in a second. Nobody could stand against the will of Allah. So one of his description and holy names is Al-Qahhar, the coercing one, the one who would force everybody's hand against their will, but nobody could force his hand. And you will see the criminals on that day tied and shackles in their chains. Their pants will be made out of tar. You know what tar is? Tar is the black material that they use to pave the streets. This is called tar. It's a dark liquid that they heat so badly. It comes out of oil, raw oil. You know, the oil that we get from Saudi Arabia from oil wells. Part of it comes as tar, heavy, thick, black material. When it's heated, it burns. It burns all the way to the bones. If any piece of it comes on a human being, it goes directly to the bones through the skin. It is very, very hot when it is hot. And it's very sticky. Imagine people who were disobedient to Allah, they will be dressed pants of tar, and their face will be covered with fire. This is so that Allah would recompensate every soul with that which it has earned. When you hear of those types of punishments and you think this is horrible, will this be done by Allah the Merciful? How could we reconcile between Him being merciful and between Him, doing those horrible punishments? Well, that's why He is warning every human being. That's why it is on us to give this warning to everybody around us so that they submit to Allah while they have the chance. It is not mercy to conceal and hide the message from your friends, your family, your children, or your neighbors. It is like if you know that there is, as you would hear, announcement about, for example, a hurricane is going to hit this town in 2 hours. Don't you want to call your neighbors to make sure that they take precautions, that they prepare, that they move away from the path of the hurricane, especially if it is powerful and destructive? Likewise, if you believe in the hereafter and you believe that there is a serious punishment waiting for those who disbelieve, don't you want to warn your children and your neighbors? Does this type of punishment contradict the fact that Allah is merciful? No. Allah is merciful, but He promised us in this life, as we went over Surah Al-A'raf, Surah number 7, okay? He said that my mercy includes everything. So I will give it to those who believed and those who followed the unlettered prophet, that they find written for them in their own books the Torah and the Injil, the Torah and the Gospel of Jesus. Okay? Which means what? Allah is saying, yes, my mercy encompasses everything. but I will designate it for those who believed and those who followed the unlettered prophet, referring to Prophet Muhammad, the final messenger of God, that they find written about in their books, the Torah and the Gospel of Jesus. Very important. So one should not use one quality of God to contradict another quality. Allah is oft merciful, but He is also severe in punishment. He forgives all sins if anybody repents. But if somebody doesn't repent, it means he is challenging Allah to bring the punishment upon them. If you challenge Allah, don't ask how He punishes you. But even that is mentioned in the Quran, that the punishment is swift and the punishment is severe. So, ayah number 49, and on that day you will see the criminals tied in their own chains and shackles. It's an image to show that nobody could escape. So somebody may say, oh, I will run away from hellfire. There is no running away. So that Allah may recompensate every soul with that which it has earned. Allah is swift in account. People ask the Prophet, how could Allah hold to account all of these humans from the beginning of creation till the end of creation? There will be so many. It will take ages. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down saying that He is swift in account. As He provides all of us at the same time, He will hold us to account all at the same time. It's not going to take Him long. Ayah number 52, which is the last ayah in the surah. This is a message for all people so that they may heed the warning and so that they may know that God is only one God, and so that those who have wise hearts and reflective hearts, that they may remember. They may remember who created them. They may remember what is awaiting them if they act righteously and if they act wickedly. A wise person may say, I can't imagine people reading and learning all of this and forgetting Allah. But mind you, as your child forgets who gave him the last gift, we also tend to forget who is in charge, who is showering us with His gifts and bounties, and what our duties are towards Allah. I think we'll stop here because the next one is the following surah, and we will start there, inshallah, next time.
Which surah is in it?
The new one is Surah Al-Hijr, Alhijr. Okay?
Thank you.